Education for all, access to special education services on the Eastern Cape, South Africa. Ubuntu, education balancing equality in South Africa, access to special education services on the Eastern Cape, South Africa. It all started in July 2012 with a simple study abroad project in South Africa for my graduate studies in advanced literacy. Little did I know how I could fall so in love with a country, a culture, a land, and a generation so kind, loving, and beautiful. Despite hardships I could barely wrap my head around. When not a single adult shows up for school, which happens more than it should, learners continue with their day, assembling for morning prayer as the eldest leaders assist the young ones to the classrooms. Or simply reading a book, singing, or dancing brings so much pleasure. We work daily on our literacy projects in the donated computer lab, teaching computer literacy skills and English language learning through writing poetry and creating digital stories. And had amazing volunteer opportunities like visiting the nearby orphanage, Greensleeves. And then I met Alon, a very special boy with autism that wanders freely in the nearby village and forest. And I realized on the rest of the trip in our village and school, I had seen no other children with disabilities. Where were they all? For the past 7 years, I've taught special education in Title I schools in Dallas and Austin, Texas. I have served students with emotional behavior disorders, severe mental retardation, autism, ADHD, and learning disabilities. It is my firm belief that every child has the ability to learn and deserves this opportunity. While I was happy to return to my beloved school in the States, something kept nagging at me. While I know I have a positive impact on my students' lives, I felt a deep calling that I was supposed to do something more. It was time to affect more children than I come in direct contact with. It was time to establish systems that could last beyond my presence. So I returned into South Africa with a renewed sense of purpose. While I assisted a professor from Texas State University during her study abroad literacy project, I began asking the hard questions. Where were the kids with disabilities from the village? Who was providing services to students who needed more, some 17 years old, still in 7th grade, so they could be successful? While I've been in contact with amazing people like Pumla doing phenomenal work, the answers seem to be the same. The only school for students with special needs nearby is located in East London, the closest city, with a 45-minute drive. Children from the village with disabilities either did not attend school or are often kicked out for behavior. With no transportation available, Their future in education is bleak. It was then that I chose to seek Lou Billett, a founder of African Angels, a nonprofit private school that is sponsor-based for children of the village, the local orphanage, and local safe houses. It was her vision to open a school that gave children from the village the tools and education they needed to be able to compete for spots in good secondary schools, and to provide an education where students have a teacher in the classroom daily and receive a curriculum equal to that of children from more privileged backgrounds. I feel blessed that Lou had been battling the same concerns for her students and was more than willing to open her school doors to me to be the first in INSA to provide special education services locally to children from the village. Though I am welcome to start a program that could potentially have profound and lasting effects on the future of many village children from INSA, African Angels relies heavily on donations to provide this standard of education. Unfortunately, the budget currently only allows for 3 teachers across 4 grade levels. Your donation will help me provide education for children in INSA that have never, or perhaps would never, have the opportunity to attend school. Children whose families rely on extension cords for electricity, who use a single water spigot for every 10 houses, and who will eat up the opportunity for the extra attention it takes to be able to continue their education. Because how could you say no to a face like that?